All right, good day, everyone. We're going to be talking about the next portion of factoring. We're going to look at some special cases. Basically, how would you handle a situation similar to what we see on the screen right now, where if I only am given two specific binomials, how can I actually solve it out? How can I work it out? Things like that. Okay. Um, we're going to go through how to actually solve these out. All right. So we're going to still use the same X method, but we're just going to throw in a little twist on how to actually go through it, how to actually solve it. And then I'll show you a little bit of a shortcut too, involving these as well as some of the other ones up here. Okay. Well, for these particular problems, these are what we call binomials. Okay. There's only two terms. And if you think about it, compare this one to what we see on letter A here. We're missing that middle value. Okay. We always have an X value in the middle. And unfortunately for these, we don't. Right. It's X squared minus 25. So what we're going to actually do is we're going to try to adjust this equation. What we're going to do to solve this is we're going to actually fill in our own 0x. We're going to write this as x squared plus 0x minus 25. By doing this, this allows us to still use the x method, right? Because now I still have a middle term and I still have an outside term. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my x. I'm going to plug in negative 25 on top and then 0 on bottom. Well, when I work that out, I end up getting negative 5, positive 5, okay? One of the ways to think about these problems is that to get a 0 on bottom, I'm going to need the same number just with opposite signs, right? I couldn't have like a 6 and a 4 because no matter what, they'll never add up to equal 0. The only things that add up to equal 0, the only two numbers are the same numbers that are opposite signs. So in this case, I end up getting negative 5 and 5. So then we follow our rules. I'm going to rewrite the first and the last number of the equation and then fill in my two values inside of it. And then from there, we group and simplify. Group the first two, group the second two. In the first problem, there's no numbers that are in common, but I can pull out an x. That would give me x times x minus 5. In the second problem, I can pull out a 5, but I can't pull out an x. Just give me x minus 5 as well. So in other words, my answer comes out to be x plus 5 and x minus 5. Okay? Let's quickly go through one more just so we can get the concept. If we jump down here to letter C, we get 2x squared minus 32. What we're going to do is we're going to basically factor a 2 out to start to get x squared minus 16. So basically what I did here is I took 2 and I divided it out by each of these to start the problem to make it easier on myself. Okay, notice all I had to do was take a 2 away. 2 divided by 2 would leave me with x squared. 32 divided by 2 would leave me with 16. Okay, so there's a way to simplify the problem even before we started. Next, I can simplify the inside version by factoring. This really becomes x squared plus 0x minus 16. Start our x method with a negative 16 on top, 0 on bottom. This is going to come out to be negative 4 and positive 4. So I can rewrite this as x squared minus 4x plus 4x minus 16. We group and simplify. X squared and negative 4x, I can take an x out of both of those to get x minus 4. 4x plus 16, or 4x minus 16, I can take a 4 away from each of those to get x minus 4. And that would give me the final answer of x plus 4 and x minus 4. Okay? So note, the really only new step we're going to be adding is this 0x part. If I'm not given a middle value, and that's only if I'm not given a middle value of x, I can fill it in. But there's also one more thing I kind of want you to notice. There's a little bit of a shortcut here that I want you to think about. Whenever I'm given an x squared value with no number in front, okay? So notice how there's no number in front of x squared. There's no number in front of this x squared. After I factored, there's no number in front of that x squared. What happens is I can actually take a little bit of a shortcut. Notice how we have a negative 5 and a 5 here from our x. Well, look at our answer, negative 5, positive 5. If you go down here, we had negative 4, positive 4. Well, look at our answer, 4, negative 4. Okay? So we actually have a little bit of a shortcut that we can take that actually works out quite a bit. As long as the x squared in front doesn't have a value in front of it, I can actually jump to a specific answer. And this works for almost any type of problem like this. Let's go back to this page where I was talking about this x squared minus 3x minus 54. Okay? One of the kind of interesting things about this is I can solve this out using our shortcut with doing less work. And I know that's always going to be a big thing for us because it's like, why would you want to go through the whole process if you can take a shortcut? So if I were to do my x method here, negative 54 on top, negative 3 on bottom, and then I notice the x squared is also by itself. Well, my two numbers here come out to be negative 9 and positive 6. Well, the beauty of this is now that I know this shortcut that only works when I'm given an x squared value, well, then I can jump right to my answer, which is x minus 9, x plus 6. And that's the same thing as if I were to factor it all out. Granted, though, this only works when the x squared is by itself. If this was written like this, where I had a number in front, I could not take the shortcut. I couldn't do it. I'd have to go through the full steps of factoring. So no, this nice little special case, this nice little shortcut that we have works some of the time. And it's a nice little trick to have, especially moving forward into other units. However, be wary on it. We still have to know X method factoring because that only works when the X squared is by itself, not when I have a number next to it. Okay? Besides that, that's all we got for the lesson for today. That's all the special cases as well as the kind of shortcut that we can start taking for the X method problems, okay? Go ahead and make sure you finish watching the videos, and I will see you in the next class period. Have a great day.